That black Tesla just rolled to a stop right in front of my house, like it was guilty of something. And all I could think was, karma never forgets an address. You know what I mean? I just stood there with my arms crossed, watching her. The self-crowned queen of the HOA, pretending my outdoor outlet was her own personal buffet, like this was a free-for-all, and I was just lucky to supply the electricity. The wildest part, I wasn't even her first mark. She'd been hopping outlets around the neighborhood like a raccoon on trash night. Let me back up a sec. My name's Jasper, 35, and I've been living solo in this beat-up little ranch house for a few years now, fixing it up bit by bit when I'm not working as an electrical engineer. To me, the biggest neighborhood drama used to be Mrs. Peterson's roses creeping a little too far into the next yard, or who forgot to bring the bins in before the HOA sent out one of their friendly reminders. It was all so harmless you could almost forget people can be terrible sometimes. Then last month, my electric bill nearly gave me a stroke. Way higher than it had ever been, and I'm no stranger to a hot summer. At first I thought maybe the AC was working overtime or I'd left something on. But you ever get that itch, that feeling something just doesn't add up? That's when I started going into full detective mode, double-checking every appliance, counting how long the fridge was running, even watching the smart meter. That's when I noticed the cord. One afternoon I come home and there's this thick orange extension cord running from my outdoor outlet across the driveway all the way to the curb. At first I thought maybe I'd plugged something in and forgot, but then I realized nope, that cord's not mine and it's definitely not going to anything of mine. At the other end, a shiny black Tesla gleaming like a trophy in a sea of beige sedans and battered minivans. So I start asking around, and sure enough, everyone points to Dahlia. Dahlia Thorne. She lives 3 houses down and is exactly the sort of neighbor who's never met a boundary she couldn't ignore, social, legal, or electrical. Dahlia is one of those people who always shows up to HOA meetings dressed for a Fortune 500 boardroom, even if she's just picking up a package. And she knows everything about everyone. Last year, she filed an official complaint about lawn flamingos. I wish I was joking. Now, the kicker, I tried to install a real certified charging station for my own car the year before. Got all the paperwork, paid a pro to do it, followed every last HOA rule, and they shot me down, said it didn't fit the neighborhood aesthetic. The same neighborhood where Dahlia was now siphoning off my power, apparently with zero shame. I caught her in the act one evening. She didn't even flinch. Just looked at me like I was inconveniencing her by noticing, as if I was the unreasonable one. Later that week, I ran into Mr. Green, my neighbor across the street. He leans in, lowers his voice, says, "You know, she used to do that to Mr. Davis's place until he put a stop to it. Now you're next." Turns out Dahlia had a system rotate between houses until someone catches on, then move to the next outlet, like clockwork. At first, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she had some emergency. Maybe she was just desperate. So I left a polite note on her windshield, just asking if we could talk about it. No big confrontation, just, "Hey, noticed you've been using my outlet. Can we chat?" She didn't call, didn't text, just smirked at me through the window next time she plugged in. That's when I realized she wasn't clueless. She was bold. Worse, she moved my orange traffic cones the next day and kept right on charging. So I wrote a more formal letter, dropped it in her mailbox, explained my rising bill, suggested we work out some kind of arrangement. Still nothing. If anything, she charged more often, like she was doubling down just to show she could. At this point, I was about ready to lose my mind. So I called my old friend Liam, who's in cybersecurity now, but used to love taking things apart just to see how they worked. "You got to be careful with people who mess with electric car charging," he told me. "Turns out there are sketchy devices out there that can push more power into a car than your house is really set up for." Liam even blew out the power to our college dorm once trying to upgrade his Xbox, so he knows a thing or two about dangerous ideas. Next time Dahlia left her Tesla plugged in, I crept out for a closer look. There was this weird little box connected between the cord and my outlet. Flashing LEDs looked like something you'd order off a sketchy website. Quick Google search later, my blood ran cold. It was a banned current amplifier recalled for fire hazards and blowing up residential wiring. That was it for me. She wasn't just taking my power, she was playing with fire, literally risking my house and everyone around it. And suddenly it hit me, this wasn't about electricity anymore. It was about power who thought they had it, who actually did and who'd get burned. Yeah, that happened. I could have called the cops, but good luck getting them to care about extension cords. Could have called the HOA, but with Dahlia sitting on the board, I figured that'd be like calling the fox to guard the hen house. So I went full engineer and installed a surge protection cutoff in my garage. It's legal, it's safe, and whenever it detects sketchy power draw, it just shuts everything down for a couple seconds. The next time Dahlia tried to charge her Tesla, lit up like a Christmas tree, flashing errors, stuttering, refusing to charge. She kept trying, plugging and unplugging, but every time that illegal box tried to draw too much, my system would cut it. It was like watching an expensive sci-fi movie go sideways in my own driveway. Here's where the twist comes in. Instead of asking herself if maybe the banned device was the problem, Dahlia went straight to the HOA. Suddenly I get a letter official as they come demanding a full inspection of my electrical system. Multiple board signatures attach complaints about dangerous modifications and not a word about her Tesla. They made it sound like I was the one running a meth lab out of my garage. Insult to injury, the same HOA that denied my real charging station was now grilling me for trying to protect my home. I started thinking maybe Dahlia had planned this all along. Deny everyone else, keep her free. Refueling secret, then hit back hard when challenged. The inspection team shows up, Ethan the chair with his rulebook smile, Rachel the paper pusher, and a third guy, their expert. They go through my setup top to bottom, asking every question you can imagine. When they get to my surge protector, I walk them through it, show them every certificate, every code. Their technician is actually impressed, says it's the cleanest home install he's seen. Ever consider consulting, he asks, half joking. I almost laugh. And right then, Dahlia shows up, ready to prove how wrong she's been. But here's the catch. Her Tesla had just gotten a new charging port swapped out by some cut-rate shop, not official Tesla service. She plugs in smug as ever, and right there in front of half the HOA, the thing goes haywire. Dashboard flickers, weird clicks, a puff of smoke, then nothing. Dead. Mr. Green mutters, "She cooked it." Everyone watches in silence as her fancy status symbol turns into a $60,000, $1,000 brick. The technician traces the wires, finds the illegal current amplifier, and explains it for everyone. This thing's banned. It's what fried her car. The neighbors start whispering. Suddenly, Dahlia's not the victim. She's the punchline. After that, it all unravels for her. Dahlia tries to sue, blames me, blames the HOA, blames everyone. But every expert, every report says the same thing. The illegal device killed her Tesla. Her insurance denies coverage. Her fancy car gets scrapped, and she's left with a beat-up Honda Civic. The HOA changes their policy overnight. Now charging stations are approved everywhere. Funny how that works, right? You'd think that'd be the end of it. But here's the real kicker. About 2 months later, Dahlia shows up at my door, hand shaking, holding a plate of cookies. No makeup, no silk scarf, just a neighbor humbled by life. "Jasper, I baked these for you. I think I finally get it. You asked for respect. I never knew what that meant." We talked for nearly an hour right there on my porch about what it means to actually earn respect instead of demanding it. Slowly, Dahlia changed. Quit the HOA board, started helping people for real, organized cleanup days, planted a garden. The Civic became a symbol not of loss but humility. 6 months on, she needed a jump start, knocked on my door, asked for help, and I grabbed my cables without a second thought. "Asking's easier than taking," she laughed. "And a lot cheaper." For the first time, I laughed with her. Now, every so often, she brings over apple cinnamon cookies and we talk like friends, not rivals. The surge protector's still in my garage. My charging station's finally approved, and the outlet, well, it's just an outlet again. Funny how a simple cord can snap more than just circuits. So here's my question. Have you ever had a neighbor who thought the rules didn't apply to them? Someone who took without asking, then acted like you were the problem. I'd love to hear your stories. Drop them in the comments. Let's see where the real power lies, with the folks who make the rules or the ones who learn from them.